Alright, man, peace. Now, I did a video a while ago. I think it was the Aaron Hernandez video, in which I tried to put brothers on notice that this is the killing season. That's what this time of year is. And let it be known, anyone can get gotten. Anybody can be killed, murdered, set up, assassinated on any day of the year. But especially in between the spring equinox and May 1st, or what they call May Day, that is a high point of the calendar year in which they like to execute murderers or ritual sacrifices. Because that time period, which is spring, which represents the rejuvenation of life, regrowth, fertility, etc., that resonates with the god of this world, that being Heru/Tammuz, who is viewed as the reincarnation of Asar. As we all know, Asar was killed, and then he was reincarnated back in the form of Tammuz or Heru. This is why they like to execute many of their assassinations and their sacrifices during this time period. Not even so much of celebrities as much as you'll see a lot of mass shootings, mass bonfires in which many people will die, things of that nature. So that brings us here to Mr. Floyd Mayweather, who himself is a venerator of Saturn, Heru, Tammuz, etc. Yes, he is. He is a Saturnian. And he's made his bed and he'll have to lie in it. And as I've stated in another video that I did pertaining to Floyd, it's unfortunate because he got all his gifts from the Most High. He didn't have to do this. But in order for himself to become a 9-figure athlete, he had to acknowledge that his God must be the quote-unquote Baphomet. So once you sign your name to that proverbial dotted line, at any time they can come to collect. They can come to get you. Do I think that the attempt on his life, or the alleged attempt on his life, was serious? Yes, I do. And as I've stated in the past, they are going to take their pound of flesh out of Floyd's behind eventually, sooner or later. He's not going to end his life a 95-year-old man laying back reclining in some large oversized bed in one of his many mansions. I seriously doubt it. I hope that the brother can find a way to repent. As many of these so-called affluent blacks, I hope that they can find a way to repent. But for the most part, they've made their beds and they're going to have to lie in them. But anyway, they're going to talk about the issue that occurred, that being one of Floyd's security guards getting shot. They're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
Is someone trying to kill Floyd Mayweather? It certainly seems like it after his entourage was ambushed and shot at with his bodyguard taking a bullet to the leg. Welcome to TMZ Sports. Evan here with Michael J. Babcock.
What's up, Evan?
I couldn't believe the story when I heard it. Early Monday morning, Floyd Mayweather's team was leaving a Waffle House in Atlanta after he had hosted a nightclub party.
Let me say this. I don't understand why one of these gentlemen here that works for TMZ, why they're acting so flabbergasted. This is not the first attempt that has been made on Floyd's life. For those of you who remember, I believe it was last year, maybe a year and a half ago, there was a situation over in England where one of his TMT vans exploded, or there was a bomb near one of his vans. So there have been many attempts made on Floyd's life. He is extremely rich. He loves to talk about how rich he is, and that breeds jealousy. And then on top of that, you have certain factions that just want to see him removed for ritualistic purposes. So you never quite know exactly what this situation is about, but anytime attempts on celebrities' lives are made, or any type of large-scale death is executed in between the spring equinox and May 1st, aka May Day, my antennas raise.
Did the nightclub party, they went to the Waffle House to kind of get some food and hang out.
Yeah.
And when they left the Waffle House, another car pulled up. Floyd was in a 3-car caravan, right?
Yeah.
A car pulled up and ambushed the caravan, opened fire, striking the lead car, and Floyd's bodyguard took a bullet to the leg.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if once this bodyguard heals up, he intends on resuming his role as one of Floyd's lead bodyguards, because these two guys especially are particularly high profile. Their faces are all over many shows like this or ESPN. If you follow boxing on YouTube, whether it be Fight Hype or Fight Hub TV, etc., these guys are always getting interviewed. So there is a trickle-down effect when there is a contract out on your boss's life, and people know that you associate with that man. And once again, do I believe that there is a quote-unquote contract out on Floyd's life? In one way or another, yes, I do. And I'm sure that he knows that as well. He's made a lot of enemies. Whenever you're extremely successful, you make a lot of enemies. So he has to roll like an international dignitary, a diplomat. He has to make sure that he has bomb-proof vans, bulletproof vans. I'm trying to figure out how this guy got shot in the leg anyway, because from what I understand, all of Floyd's vans and vehicles are bulletproof. So he must have been standing outside of the vehicle when he got shot. If that's not the case, one of you brothers in the comments can correct me on that.
Greg LaRosa, Floyd's longtime bodyguard, who we have talked to. You always see him with Floyd. He was taken to the hospital as part of the motorcade, where he was treated and was released early in the morning. Thankfully, he was not seriously injured, just took the bullet to the leg, but an absolutely terrifying situation.
Yeah, and now the Atlanta Police Department is saying they believe that this was a targeted attack.
I wouldn't say that this is necessarily a terrifying situation. I think that it's par for the course. When you're someone like a Floyd Mayweather or any other type of celebrity, you have to expect these things. You must know that along with the fame and the prestige and the money, you're also going to have stalkers. You're going to have would-be assassins. You're going to have people who are extremely envious and jealous and feel like you owe them something for your success. And for the certain select celebrities that ascend to the highest levels and do give their souls away to the Baphomet, or their spirit over to the Baphomet, they should also expect that at any moment there could be a collection. Who the hell knows? Who knows?
Somebody specifically wanted to shoot at Floyd Mayweather's entourage. It's unclear if they were targeting Floyd specifically, but I mean, come on, who else could it be? When you go up and roll into an entourage knowing that the celebrity is going to be somewhere in the middle, and you just start opening fire and just spraying everywhere, I think the target would probably be to kill Floyd Mayweather.
Right, it would make sense. Logic would dictate that it was Floyd. It turns out Floyd wasn't actually in the vehicle.
The front vehicle.
Right, the front vehicle where Greg was riding, so...
Okay, so according to this report, the security guard was within the vehicle. Once again, one must wonder, why did Floyd not have his vehicles bulletproofed? Because from what I understand, he normally has his vehicles bulletproofed.
So it doesn't seem like Floyd was at risk, but yeah, you've got to imagine that Floyd was a target here.
Right, and here's the thing. Cops are also saying that after the initial exchange of bullets, I would say exchange of bullets, but it wasn't. It was just the car opened fire
bullets
on the
coming
car.
one way.
The driver tried to speed away and lose the driver in like a chase. Eventually did, but the takeaway from that is that this other person who was firing Floyd's cars was trying to chase them, and I guess finish the job.
That's the scariest part about it, that it doesn't seem like it was just an accident or shooting off bullets for fun, that there was some real intent there to do harm or kill somebody.
Right.
Absolutely. That person had a purpose, whatever that purpose may be. Now, you have certain people speculating all across the internet that it may have been T.I. or many of the other more notable celebrities that Floyd has had run-ins with. They're talking about Nelly and Ray J and all this other nonsense. Nah. This is from higher up. Now, could it possibly have some associations with T.I.? I'm not going to say that over the internet. You never know. What I will say is that certain rappers like T.I. and Snoop Dogg have, without a doubt, in my view, affiliations with alphabet agencies. Just look at their names. Look at how long they have been allowed to stay in the entertainment industry, despite the fact that they have not been successful for many years. Look at the fact that they're allowed to be in movies and television shows without having any form of outright or extreme success for the past 10 years. Whenever your name is Tip and you're caught with an arsenal of weapons and you barely do any time in prison for that, and you're supposedly already a felon, that's a major red flag for me. When your name is Snoop Dogg and you make your debut on a song called Deep Cover, that's a major red flag for me. Major red flag. But, you know, those are videos for another day. Point being is this. Mr. Floyd Mayweather, he's going to have to watch himself. Phenomenal boxer, great talent, excellent business acumen, great connections. But money will not save you when somebody has decided that they want to remove you. Especially when he likes to make himself as visible as he often likes to make himself. He may have to change where he chooses to hang out. Floyd is not a hood dude. He's a dude from the hood. It's a major difference. Major difference. He's a dude from the hood. He is not a hood dude. Hood dudes do not care about the repercussions for their actions. They do not care. Floyd Mayweather has way too much to lose to still be hanging around a certain class of people. And certain people who are listening to my video may not like me saying that, but it's just the truth. When you raise your status in society, you raise it by raising your mindset. When you raise your mindset, you can no longer cohabit. You can no longer dwell with those who still have a very low frame of mind, because they're going to drag you down with them. And that's just speaking on the quote-unquote jealous nigga angle. But from what I understand, he did not do anything during his time period at the club that night or at the Waffle House to incense anyone. So it's very clear that certain people may have seen him at the club, got back to whoever they normally report to, and, may have said, yo, this dude is here. What you want me to do? And they got the order. Do I believe that that order may have come from someone like a T.I.? Like I said, I'm not going to say it over the internet, but what I will say is, once again, a lot of these rappers are not who you think they are. Okay? A lot of these rappers are not who you think they are. And when you have a person like Floyd Mayweather, who likes to brag about how he's a billionaire, he has a multi-billion-dollar real estate portfolio, there are a lot of people who are not happy to see that.
I actually spoke with Greg briefly. He said that he's still trying to figure out what's going on. He doesn't understand why this happened.
Now, did you hear what the narrator said? He said that he spoke to the security guard who was shot, and the security guard stated he's still trying to figure out why this happened. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like to me is, once this bullet hole is healed, I'm going to remove myself from this situation because I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for this. I thought this was just going to be a couple of rowdy fans try to bum rush you. We get into a little fight, da-dee-da-da. Nobody told me that there were going to be assassination attempts made on this guy. And I think I've bitten off a little bit more than I could chew, and I need to chill out for a while.
He is recovering. He's feeling okay. I think he's just thankful that he wasn't hurt more.
So who wants to kill Floyd Mayweather? Right? Here's what we know happened. Here's the sequence of events. It started out at Medusa nightclub.
Right.
Floyd was hosting an event. You can see the photos here.
Very interesting. Medusa nightclub. In ancient mythology, Medusa was one of the altars for the mother goddess. Is there a reason why Floyd was booked to be there? He oftentimes makes club appointments to help promote the club, and of course he gets reimbursed. So the first thing that I would do if I was Floyd and I was inquisitive on who may have set me up is I would check for who is booking me for a lot of these engagements, because whoever's booking me must have told someone that I was going to be there. That's what I would think.
He's having a good time. He was with a bunch of other people.
Yeah, Wyatt and Lucci was there, but big rap stars. It was a pretty, happening party.
We've spoken with multiple witnesses who were there who tell us the same thing. There was nothing negative or mad or angry about the situation.
No beef at the club that was apparent. Wasn't fighting with anybody.
Yeah, and then after the nightclub ended, he went over to a local Waffle House, a nearby Waffle House. And at the Waffle House, you can see in our video, he was hanging out, having fun. People inside the Waffle House tell us that he was at one point dancing by the jukebox.
Yeah,
exactly. And he was not, the assassination attempt was not made outside of the club, and it was not made outside of the Waffle House. It's made outside of his hotel. So clearly, someone was following him. So if I'm Floyd Mayweather, the first thing I'm wondering is the person who is booking me for these engagements, is this person telling people where I'm going to be? Or number two, it's possible that, of course, Floyd Mayweather was going to appear at your club, that they were promoting that he was going to appear at their club for a very long time, and an operative, an agent. And when I use those terms, I use them not in the strictest sense of the term, meaning anyone who works for someone else is acting as an operative or an agent. It could just be, some low-level dude who was affiliated with someone else who just wanted to peep the scene and see if Floyd was actually going to be there. But whenever I see assassination attempts like this, one would think that if someone's going to run up on Floyd and it wasn't pre-planned, it would be to try to juke him, try to get some money from him, try to rob him and his crew. And it would just be a mass setup. The fact that bullets were fired and then this person pursued them, this was an assassination attempt. So this was carefully planned and thought out. This was not just something that somebody does. If it was a case of, oh, this dude disrespected me in the club, I could see right outside the club, they drive by, they try to spray the whole set, and then they drive off. Whoever these people were, or this person was, they followed Floyd back to his hotel, and they were really trying to get the job done.
He was having a really good time.
At the jukebox, dancing, having fun again. Didn't get in an argument with anybody. There wouldn't seem to be anyone in the Waffle House that wanted to hurt Floyd.
You can see him at the jukebox right there.
But then still, Evan, only minutes later, somebody was firing at a car that Floyd was in or by. It's crazy.
It seems, based on what the cops are saying, that this was a premeditated attack on...
It's obviously a premeditated attack. You don't have to be Einstein to figure that out. All you have to do is look at the various aspects of what occurred. Once again, if it was something that somebody did at the spur of the moment or out of anger or jealousy, you would think that it would have occurred outside the club. Or even at the Waffle House, because we know how people get at Waffle Houses at 3 in the morning or 3:30 in the morning. They drunk, they coming from the club, and they might catch Floyd in the Waffle House. Oh, I hate that nigga, yada, 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 and some pop off. But just the fact that they trailed him back to his hotel, they wanted to know where he was staying. So this was planned. There's no doubt about that.
On Floyd and his entourage. So Floyd has not talked to police yet. Cops said they're trying to talk to Floyd. They want to talk to Floyd, but they have to.
That's trying to hurt you and may still want to hurt you now that they didn't exactly complete the job. You would think you would want to cooperate with cops and also get out of town and get back to Las Vegas or California where Floyd is more comfortable.
Maybe the reason why Floyd is not trying to speak with the police is because he thinks that the police may know who was involved with this pre-planned assassination attempt, and that they may have been the ones that tried to sanction it. As we know, many of these police departments across the United States are filled with undercover alphabet agency operatives who are oftentimes utilized to execute assassinations. Maybe Floyd knows a little bit more than we think he knows. And he's just trying to get his wits back about him and send out his own feelers so that he can get his own get back in his own way. Who knows right now? I'm sure that somebody's going to catch up with Floyd and try to interview him and find out exactly where his mind is at.
Atlanta is not his city.
Apparently not. I mean, it's a whole... We're covering this thing. I think Floyd, if he's not scared, I think he probably should be. I mean, this is scary.
I doubt if Floyd is scared. This is par for the course for someone on his level. Once again, this is not the first attempt that was made at his life. I'm just wondering if, as reported, if the security guard was shot through the door of the vehicle. I'm trying to figure out how come Floyd is not riding in bulletproof vehicles, because as far as I know, he normally rides in bulletproof vehicles. That is if the story is being accurately reported.
Scary situation to have somebody ambush your vehicles and open fire on you. A crazy situation for Floyd Mayweather. We're going to have more of this as it happens on TMZSports.com.
We'll see what happens. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And when you are the wealthiest athlete or one of the wealthiest athletes on the earth, and you also happen to be a so-called American black male, and you speak about your wealth as much as Floyd Mayweather does, you certainly become a target. You add onto that the component of being in a city where he's had issues with some of the more higher profile members of that city or residents of that city, i.e. TIP, the quote-unquote rubber band man. And then on top of that, this is the killing season once again. In between the spring equinox all the way to May Day, there's a time period that you certainly have to watch out for. Floyd is in negotiations for another 9-figure event with the UFC. Someone may be trying to let him know that your money-making days are over. We're going to cash you out one way or another. Who knows? I certainly believe that Floyd is a slave to fame, a slave to other things. And in that world, this is why they make films like in the Star Wars film. They talk about the master and the apprentice. And the rapport between the master and the apprentice, even though it's educational, it's also contentious. After a while, they're always trying to outdo each other and kill one another because they just feed off of that energy. It's the same thing in that world, the entertainment industry world. They talk good things about one another in front of the camera, but behind the scenes, it's a whole different story. And they do understand the importance of the blood sacrifice, and they do understand the importance of closing off narratives. They close off narratives so that they can have the energy from that person transferred over to them in a ritualistic murder. But we'll see. We'll see. There's just no doubt in my mind that this was not over some issue, some skirmish at a club. That's not how those things occur. When it's a hired contract assassination attempt, it's always a ways away from where that person was known to be stationed, located, or appearing at. This person, whoever they are, failed at their assassination attempt, and I'm very, very sure that Floyd is in the process of trying to figure out who it was so that he can get his own form of retribution. But anyway, peace.